Last week, some bank customers expressed panic as the Central Bank of Nigeria placed a ban on mobile money operators, including fintech firms, from onboarding new customers. Even where the Bank Customers Association of Nigeria backs the CBN directive, the new directive will affect fintech companies such as OPay, Palmpay, Kuda Bank, and Moniepoint from opening new accounts until further notice.
Now, the CBN's move was linked to an ongoing audit of the Know Your Customer process of the fintechs, which have been under scrutiny in recent months over concerns about money laundering and terrorism financing. It was gathered that the CBN had summoned some of the heads of fintechs in Abuja, or rather to Abuja, to discuss issues around KYC last week. Also, the directive coincided with the court order that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission obtained to freeze at least 1,146 bank accounts owned by various individuals and companies allegedly involved in illegal foreign exchange transactions.
Joining us this morning to unpack the cause and implication of this, we're being joined by Yinka Awosanya. He's a research lead, Intelpoint. Yinka, a very good morning to you. Many thanks for coming on. Let's get started. First of all, just understand what the policy is. Why did the Central Bank of Nigeria decide to ban the onboarding of customers by selected fintech companies, which is five? I'm talking OPay, Kuda, PayPal.
Palmpay. Yes, so
Palmpay, forgive
yes, so for the banning, it's a case of yes, customers on this platform are using their accounts to transact to have cryptocurrency transactions, which is, and then of course, the tricky part is, as of last year, December, the CBN said authorize banks, commercial banks and every other banks to facilitate cryptocurrency transactions on their platform. And then you're now coming 4 months later and banning those same transactions. And the fintechs that are supposedly powering it, because the fintechs are not really the only one doing it. So from people I've spoken with, it's a case of yes, only a fraction of the fintech customers are actually doing this. So you still have other in the commercial banks that are still doing it, but then it's a case of yes, you are banning only the fintech guys from registering new, and not every banks that is affected.
Very interesting. So why then did they target this? Because you just said now that the other banks, the other platforms that are doing this, the commercial banks, which is the excuse me, the traditional deposit banks as well. So why are they now targeted? Is this a target? Because we understand that one of the concerns was KYC, which is Know Your Customer policy. Then why then are these fintech companies then targeted?
Okay, so about 2 months ago or thereabouts, so someone did a story at Intelpoint around the fact that these banks allow, most of these fintechs allow you create a bank account with just your phone number, without BVN or NIN, which means that I can just pick any number, any phone number, register a phone number, and register an account with another person's name, not my own name, because there is no NIN or BVN associated with that to confirm that, yes, I'm actually the owner of this. Yes, there was that cases in recent times. But then this case of now seeing that you are now banning them from creating a new account, when recently there was a case of, yes, you only have to, people that will create accounts on your platform has to use BVN or NIN. You already set that in place. So why then are you going to say, yes, these people are not obeying what you ask them to do? Whereas they seems to have been doing that since the last 2 years, 2 months thereabout.
May I? So, interesting question this. If the main reason why these fintechs are making it easy for customers to be registered is to aid their business, and I'm thinking that that's also why the government is also making sure this is a good thing for the economy.
Yes, it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. So now, what is being put in place to help aid that? Because if you're going to stop these people from being able to onboard new customers, help their businesses, you're crippling the economy effectively.
Definitely.
Any policy being put in place as a substitute?
So right now, aside the fact that the CBN is trying to meet with these guys, probably look for a way forward to it, also stuff like that. There's really nothing new at the moment. It's just a case of, yes, we are doing this, stopping these guys from registering new customers. And then, so it's been doing this and doing another thing over the years. So in 2021, CBN banned cryptocurrency transactions on other branches. And then in 2023, it came again and said, yes, banks can now do this. And the surprising thing is, in 2022, SEC released a framework to guide cryptocurrency exchanges in the country. And while this framework was out, the CBN ban is still in effect. So you have a case of the CBN saying one thing and a sister body saying another thing. It's just like there is really no handshake, no collaboration between these agencies, which seems to be controlling the financial system in the
So now what's going to happen to these banks, these fintech companies? Is it going to affect, or definitely it's going to affect the way money is being transacted through them? Thereby it's going to affect their income now, isn't it?
Not really, because what's this ban, this ban is for onboarding new customers.
Yes.
So definitely, customers that are currently on their platform can still do all the transactions that they've been doing over the years. So they can see just the onboarding new customers that they can, and which means, so you have businesses that want to onboard on this platform. Those businesses they can onboard. Yes, it could affect those other guys, because the reason why people might want to go for this fintech guys is because of the speed at which the transactions on them take place. Last year, in each of the cashless, when we were moving using old currency and changing, and then there was scarcity of cash. It was these guys that people turn to because of you transfer to someone, and in seconds the person already gets it. So, but then what it means for them is they can't onboard new customers. But then the customers that they already have, of course, they keep doing the transactions that they've been doing.
Right. On Friday, correct me if I'm wrong, all of the apps, most of the apps that were affected, put out a directive, more like a warning to their customers to ban, any type of, trading of cryptocurrency on the platform. And what's this ban related? It makes me wonder, the ban by the CBN from onboarding new clients or new customers on the application, do you think is related to the Binance money laundering case currently in court?
Definitely. Definitely. So since the Binance issue, so we had a case of, yes, recently over 1,100 banks were linked. So part of, aside funding terrorism, part of the reasons for the ban was, for the blocking those numbers was a case of them using their banks to do cryptocurrency transactions. So definitely, it's all linked to the fact that, yes, Binance is in quote using, affecting the downward trend of the naira over the last 7-8 months or thereabouts. So often, definitely, it's all related. It's all related, because why you are banning these guys is because you claim that their customers are using their banks for cryptocurrency transactions, and then it's a case of it's not only their customers that are doing that. Customers from other banks are also doing this, so why not go after these guys, which sounds a little bit tricky.
Very interesting indeed. Now, we're seeing, this crackdown and this reluctancy by the CBN, the Apex Bank, when it comes to cryptocurrency trading. What is the expected effect of this then on a larger, broad scale in terms of our economy and emerging markets and, cryptocurrency and just fintech in a larger sense?
So recently, the CBN, in one of its circular after lifting the ban, was that cryptocurrency is part of the future. But then when you look at what they are doing now, it's a case of you are seeing something is the future, and you're doing something that negates what you've said that is the future. So I'm saying this is the future, but then you are not supporting that future to take place. So what it means is anyone coming into the cryptocurrency space in the country will be very careful of, because you don't know which regulator will come on board and say, okay, you can't do this anymore, because the SEC said, okay, this is a framework that you should follow, but then the CBN is saying you can't do that. So definitely really affect that. And in the last, since SEC released the framework, we've not had any company that successfully got the license And I believe this might be one of the reasons, because you're looking at, you get the license and then another agency is telling you that you can't actually use this license. So what's then the purpose of getting a license? And the license, I think the paid up capital is around 500 million. So all this just bother around the fact that, yes, we are seeing one thing and we are doing something else.
So I have a very interesting question, and I'm not asking you because you are a culprit, but I'm asking, how exactly can one launder money using these apparatus, these fintech apparatus? How exactly can one evade tax? You know how, yes?
So this is it. So the nature of cryptocurrency, to my knowledge, is a case of, it's mostly mostly anonymous. So send through keys
and
not to bank account. Yes, the anonymity part, so you can just send money to anyone without actually knowing the identity. So there are cases where you can know who actually, but then that's a long process you know about. But then it's a case of, yes, that anonymity that it provides means that I cannot send money to someone without knowing the person. I just have the person's key and we're good to go.
Earlier during your response, we were talking about one of the reasons why all of these apps were banned. And the very big challenge is KYC policy and them just onboarding customers and the ease of doing it. How then can the fintechs, because they're emerging, they're big, they are almost rivaling the traditional bank deposit banks that we have. But then this is a huge concern for how then can they mitigate this challenge and overcome it?
Yeah, so it's just to for the KYC, it's just to follow the requirement that the CBN has laid out. Okay, yes, for anyone to be onboarded on your platform, you just have to have either BVN or NIN. So that makes it easier, because so far they can follow that. I believe that works for them, but it only means that they can't onboard people without that, according to the KYC. So I mean the regulations.
And still on, tax, rather still on regulatory, compliance. It's the same with cryptocurrency, right? Binance has been, in court, with the EFCC, the director absconded. Yeah. That's a better word to describe it. When it comes to just compliance itself, why is there issue with, regulatory compliance, especially now that we're bringing cryptocurrency into this conversation?
Okay, so now. CBN, most of the body language is the fact that Binance and the other guys are the one crippling, affecting the Naira exchange to the dollar over the last 9-10 months. So it's that we're looking at, okay, yes, we're just saying this is it, so let's go for this. So that's just what CBN is doing. You're saying we've identified the culprit, so we just keep hammering on.
So then when you talk about regulatory compliance, does the fintech also need to balance that as well? Because if we're being specific, cryptocurrencies and other platforms, they're now getting more common, right? And they're now being held for cases of money laundering and tax evasion purposes. So how then can they, be tight in terms of, compliance, regulatory compliance?
The regulation is there already, just KYC. So follow the KYC. So you have, must be anyone getting onboarded, BVN, and if it's a corporate, so they have the CAC certificates and any other document. Following that KYC will really help them in the long run. Because what I said 2 months ago, there about that obviously news around the fact that people are just creating an account for other people. I had someone send an account to me of a former boss with the former boss's name on it. And it was a case of yes, because you can just create that.
So with that you just said, are there specific cryptocurrency platforms that people are actually using?
No, those ones are just...
No, I'm asking now a different question. Are there specific ones that people are using to perpetrate these crimes? Are there any specific ones?
No, that I know.
So you can use...
So, no, but then the example I made is creating a bank account with another person's name. Using just your phone.
And we've seen that so many times. I can't name names, but in terms of platforms, but we've seen cases where people are opening accounts and just using
your name. So yes, so that happens. But then I believe sticking to the KYC requirements really help in curtailing that.
Well, we really hope that that comes. I mean, when you talk about the fintechs, then you say that them onboarding new customers or not onboarding would not affect them, but there should be some sort of pivot. What do you think would be the pivot for them?
So I believe the banning in onboarding new customers is not a it's not a long-term thing. So hopefully they'll come back to table and say, okay, yes, this will do this or this or they'll follow KYC and then say start onboarding, because there's really no pivot in that. There's really nothing you can do. It's a case of yes, you really need new customers. You need new customers. You need new customers because your customers, yes, you may have 1 million customers, but how many of those customers are active? So, but then to keep increasing that, you have to keep onboarding new customers, So there's really no, I don't think there's any way they can pivot, except to say, okay, yes, let's come to the table and see how to address this, and then start onboarding new customers again.
Well, I want to say thank you very much, Yinka Awosanya, for joining us today and in making this all clear. You've demystified it for us. We appreciate that. Thank you indeed.
Yinka, many thanks.
Thank you.